Hey, it's me, Robert again, and in my last video I did part 1 of my top 20 anime villains list, and this is going to be part 2 of that. May I remind you that this is my list, not yours, and another thing is that these villains are not based solely on strength. They're based mainly on how evil they are. Got it? Okay, starting right off. Number 10 is Aliel Sanchez from Gundam or 00. Remember how I said Garen was so evil? Well, this guy is like Garen times 100. He loved war so much that he convinced these kids to kill their parents and become guerrilla soldiers. Army faction that he created of mercenaries that he made. Well, in the end, he actually betrayed them and had them killed, all except for Setsuna, who survived. And not only that, but he's killed tons of people. What he did to the Trinity siblings is an example of that, how he killed one of the brothers, stole his Gundam, then killed the other brother, destroying another one of the Gundam thrones, and then the sister survived. And that's pretty much it for him. Moving on to number 9 is Millions Knives from Trigun. The reason why I'm putting Millions Knives on in 9th place on this one is because he went crazy as a little kid and killed his own mom. Well, not biological mother, but he still killed her nonetheless. Not only that, but he kind of doomed that entire ship full of people, and only him and Vash survived. And then when they got down to the planet, he destroyed entire cities, killed millions of people, committing all these heinous crimes, and Vash was blamed for it. Yeah, that's pretty much why I'm putting him on here, because it really should be him who has the $60 billion double dollar bounty on his head. Okay, moving on to number 8 is Father from Fullmetal Alchemist. Why am I putting him on here? Well, originally he started off as this homunculus and flask, but then he met this little slave boy and named him von Hohenheim and tutored him and made him smart. And then, since the king of the country wanted to become immortal, since he was getting old, the homunculus and flask is like, okay, I'll help you. So it instructs him to build these canals connecting these cities together. And in the end, it turns out what he created was a giant transmutation circle. And then when the transmutation circle was finally completed and activated, all the people in the entire country was wiped out. And von Hohenheim became a human philosopher's stone, and the homunculus in a flask got his own body. And then he later on created his his children, which were the homunculus, like sloth and greed and lust and envy and all of them. So he created all those 7 homunculus. And also he can control matter, do transmutations without even lifting a finger. So that's why I'm putting him in here. Okay. At number 7 for DBZ is Cell. The reason why I'm putting Cell instead of the more powerful villains like Majin Buu and Janemba and Omega Shenron, the reason why I'm not putting them in here and putting Cell in here is because Cell could have been so much more powerful than when he was. Because, okay, he became so powerful just from absorbing 2 androids. Now imagine if he was built to absorb all androids. If he could absorb any android, imagine how much stronger he could become. And what if he arrived like a year before they expected him to, and then he absorbed Dr. Zero and Android 19 and gained their little energy absorption devices. And then what if he had absorbed Android 17, 18, and 16, and any other androids like 15, 14, and 13, and the new Android 17? or any other androids that would come out. Imagine if he absorbed all of them. Yeah, he would be a lot more powerful than what he was. Okay, that's pretty much it. Moving on to number 6 is Creed Diskinth from Black Cat. Now, I don't know how they couldn't tell the psychotic. I mean, it was obviously he was, like, mentally unstable. But what he did was he betrayed his entire organization and killed a couple of its members. And then he created his own, like, organization of evil people, the Apostles of the Star, and would kill tons of people. And also, by the end of Black Cat, when Train fought Creed Diskinth, Creed was pretty much immortal, but still, he was pretty much invincible at that point, as far as Black Cat goes. So that's pretty much why I'm putting him on here. Plus, he has an invisible sword which can extend, which I think is awesome. So moving on to number 5, I'm gonna put Hades. His real name is Purito from Fairy Tail. Now, not really much is known about him, besides the fact that he's the former second guild master of Fairy Tail, and he left Fairy Tail in the hands of Makarov, and then what he do, he goes off to create this supreme, ultimate, invincible guild of wizards who use only the like lost magics or whatever, called Grimoire Heart. And not only that, but he almost kills Makarov. He nearly destroys the Fairy Tail Island, and also, like, Fairy Tail's strongest mages go up against him, and they go at him full force, and he's like, "Oh, are the warm-ups done yet?" Anyways, so I'm gonna move on to number 4. Now, number 4 is going to be Marshall D. Teach from One Piece. Why put him in here? Well, because I don't know what he did before he joined Whitebeard's Pirates, but he joined Whitebeard's Pirates, and I believe he was under Ace's command. And then he saw that the 3rd Division Commander Thatch had gotten this devil fruit that he had been looking for. So what does he do? Blackbeard kills Thatch, steals the devil fruit, and eats it. Then he goes after Luffy's head to try and become a warlord of the sea. And in the end, he ends up fighting Ace, and he defeats Ace, which is very, very impressive. Then, once he finally does get the title of warlord, he goes into Impel Down, because then what he does is he goes down to level 6 and he sets free all the worst criminals in the world. Also, his powers are kind of hard to explain, but it's odd. He controls darkness. And then afterwards he goes to Marineford, and he throws this cloth over Whitebeard's dead body and then goes underneath it with him. Yeah, that doesn't sound suggestive. And then he comes out and he somehow has Whitebeard's powers, which means he can steal other devil fruit powers. Yeah, that's a bad thing. Well, that's pretty much it. Okay, moving on to number 4, Sosuke Aizen from Bleach. Now, why put him on here? Well, for obvious reasons. He was evil to begin with. He was evil before he became a Soul Reaper, or Shinigami if you like to call it. He was evil before this, but then he became a Soul Reaper and became a captain and tricked everybody. He tricked everyone around him, all his subordinates and allies, and then what he did was he tried to have Momo killed, who absolutely loved him, and then he stole the Hogyoku and ran away, and then he created this army of Arankars, And then by the end of his fight with Ichigo, he was pretty much a god. He was really powerful. And so that's why I chose him. Okay. Number 2 is Priscilla from Claymore. Why put Priscilla on here? Now, I'm not putting Priscilla on, I'm not putting the Priscilla who was on the anime on here. I'm putting the Priscilla who was on the mangas on here. Why? Well, because they kind of made Priscilla's character pathetically weak in the anime compared to her in the mangas. Like, her in the mangas is like 1,000 times more powerful. Yeah, she is. And she doesn't have a final transformation or whatever. But oh boy, she is powerful. She's super fast. She kicked Claire's ass before she had even transformed. Also, her regenerative powers are like as good as Majin Buu's, maybe even better. She's just this insane psychotic thing. And before she even became a awakened being, she created Claymore, and she was automatically given the position of number 2. But yeah, that's powerful. And not only that, but she kills all of her like hundreds of Yomas without even releasing a little bit, without releasing even a little bit of Yokiara. And Teresa, whose specialty is sensing Yokiara, couldn't even sense her even though she was right there in front of her. So, and yeah, and she killed Teresa. That's why I'm putting her on here. Okay, now, finally, for number 1. One, clear note from Zatch Bell. I don't know if he was on the animes, but him in the mangas, he was, oh, God, he was so powerful. Okay, for any of you fans of Zatch Bell, you know how powerful Brago was? Well, this guy made Brago look like a bitch. Seriously, he did. I'm not even joking. He made him look like a bitch. He fought Brago, Zatch, and Asheron, who was from the Dragon Clan, and the dragons are like some of the most powerful Momotos, and he kicks all of their asses. And also, he transforms into this monster, and by the end of it, he's pretty much a god who could destroy, like, the entire Earth. But the final battle was epic, and Zatch defeats him in the end. But read the mangas and you'll see why I chose him. Okay, bye.